time for everyone. This is JRootRadio.com.
Mountain Fruit. For over 15 years, Mountain Fruit has been the preferred grocery for the discerning kosher consumer, providing meat, fish, and produce departments, delicious takeout, and so much more. Visit us today, 1523 Avenue M, or call us for free delivery, 855-MT-FRUIT. Also inquire about our member program. Mountain Fruit, the peak of quality, 1523 Avenue M, 855-MT-FRUIT. Visit us online at shopmountainfruit.com.
Yo!
Just do it.
Yeah! אם בבוקר אתה קם ולא רואה כבר את האור, מתלבט ומסתפק ולא יודע מה לבחור, תנסה לזוז קדימה כמה שאתה יכול.
Live from Jroot Studios in New York, this is the Kishroni Hour, and I'm Yosef Lai Bornstein, and I'll be here till 8 o'clock, and Mirz Hashem. That's better. Now I can hear myself. Let's start with the tefillah to the B'nai Shleilam. Let's say together. The B'nai Shleilam, please give us Hatzlacha this hour the way you have always done. Thank you, Reb Nissim, for giving us the opportunity once again to do this wonderful show. Moshe, thank you so much for being on the machinery right here in the studio. Thanks, everybody here watching us. Remember, I believe in you, I trust you, you are important, and you will succeed. Anyway, our telephone number is 718-683-5858, 718-683-5858. Should you want to be part of our program, 718-683-5858, 347-927-8398 is our text number. Should you want to text us, Moshe here will be so excited to pick up your text, won't you, Moshe? And he will refer to the appropriate place. Again, our telephone number is 718-683-5858, and our text is 347-927-8398. Well, is Yehuda on the line? That's good. Yehuda, let's go to Yehuda, who always brings us a beautiful story of the week. Let's start with the story of the week. To the story station we go, standing by the veteran junior storyteller, Yehuda Rubin, with the story of the week, always with a beautiful message. Go ahead, Yehuda.
The title of this week's story is Knowing the Good Name of Chaim Krasworth, the chief rabbi's answer for the children honor to listen to Finkel of Shiva of the Mir. The Krasworth's grandson once asked him why he could ever see who was a lot younger than him by several decades, such honor, especially since the Krasworth is one of the greatest Chacham of the time. Responded, though I might be the greater, since he has several thousand Talmidim and he knows them all by name, that's a greater accomplishment. I he heard this exchange of remarks. I'm not sure I know all their names, but I do know that I love every one of them. At the story station, this is you, the Kishroni Hour on Jroot Radio.
I can't hear you. That's much better. Thank you so much, Yehuda.
Thank you, Yehuda.
If you're a boy or girl between the age of 8 and 14 and you want to do a report, you can text us at 347-927-8398. That's the text that I just gave you about 10 times. 347-927-8398, and you leave us a message. I will admit Shamblina to call you back. ASAP. Ablineda Mirz Hashem, not to reject you. What's our motto? What's a Kishroni motto? Well, no talent is rejected and no child is refused. Well, tonight is Shloishes Yemei HaGebala, which means the 3 days in preparation of Shavuos, which is coming up Motzei Shabbos, Sunday and Monday. And we have Thursday, Friday, Shabbos to prepare ourselves for Kabbalah Torah. The Torah tells us, tells us that he tells Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, tell the Yidden should prepare for 2 days, and then the Gemara said Moshe Rabbeinu added one more day. Anyway, we had 3 days to prepare ourselves, and as we know from Chazal, every year Kabbalah Torah comes again, every year. So in other words, in Mirz Hashem, Sunday morning in Shul, when we stand there and we take up the Torah, we hear Kabbalah Torah, we hear Aseret Adibros, we get the Seres Adibris all over again. We get the Torah all over again. The Rebbeinu Shalom is Mechadesh every day, the world, and Shavuos, he brings down the Torah to the Yidden. Just like we had it 3,000 something years ago, we have it again, Tafshin Ayin Ches 2018, right here in the United States of America and all over the world. The Rebbeinu Shalom gives the Torah to the Yidden. Well, we got to prepare ourselves. So I put together some of the Chazal that discusses the Seres HaDibros. Make sure, boys and girls, excuse me, make sure, boys and girls, that you go to shul to listen to the Seres HaDibros. It's a tremendous chus to hear it. And some people, especially in the Bavitch, they bring even the little kids, but especially the older kids who are able to go and don't need their mother, should certainly go. Well, the Chazal is full of stories and medrashim and very interesting and mind-boggling stuff that went on by Kabbalah Torah in the Midbar. And you know what? I put together some stuff, and obviously it's ketipim and ayam. It's like a drop, like a droplet from the tremendous ocean, which is a drop is nothing. And of course, I don't know everything, and even if I would know, it would be impossible to share all the information with you. But I did a little bit of research, and I got some Madrashi Chazal just to set the tone for the upcoming beautiful Heilige Yontif. The Torah starts with the letter base. Bereshis bara Elokim et Hashmayim v'Haaretz. Base, Bereshis. Well, the Medrash tells us that all the oisios, all the letters from the Rebbeinu Shalom, all the 22 letters, starting from Tuf. Interesting. I never understood why they came backwards. Like they came in the backwards order. The Tuf came, and the Shin came, the Reish and the Kuf, and they all came to the Rebbeinu Shalom to beg Hashem that Hashem should start the Torah with their name. Now it's a little bit hard to understand. I don't understand this myself 100%, but it's a little bit hard to understand what that means. Like a letter comes davening. Well, obviously we're talking about the malachim. Each letter has a malach. Tremendous oris. It's very hard to understand and explain. If I would understand myself, well, maybe I would be able to explain, but obviously I don't, so I can't explain it well. Either way, the Rebbeinu Shalom said no to the Tuf, no to the Shin, no to the Reish, and so on and so forth. Pei, Ayin Samach, Nun Mem, back Lamed, Kaf, Yod, Tes, Ches, Zayin, Vav, Hey, Dalet, Gimel. Finally it came to the base, and each one, Rebbeinu Shalom had a reason. There is a pasuk that begins with that letter, which doesn't, I don't think Hashem not a good pasuk, but a pasuk that doesn't bring good bisuas. Finally, the base came, and Hashem said, "Yes, I'm going to use the base." You know why? Because it starts with the words, the pasuk, Baruch Hashem Elokei Yisrael, blessed, gebenched, blessed is Hashem, the Hashem of the Yidden, the God of the Yidden. I'm going to start the Torah with this pasuk, with this word, with this letter, base. Why? Because of this pasuk. Because this pasuk starts with this letter, I like the letter base. And of course, this letter shows us the love of Hashem to the Yidden, because it's mentioned the God of the Yidden. So that's why Hashem started the Torah with the base. I don't want to go into more details of this medrash, because there's so much to talk about why the base and why not the other letters, and what it means, and it's very hard to explain, especially for younger kids. If you want more explanation, I'm sure you can talk to your Rebbe or your teacher, but let me move on and talk about Aseret HaDibros. I gathered some stuff about Aseret HaDibros, and I'm not going to talk about each of them, but just a little bit of some of them. Well, the Aseret HaDibros are the 10 commandments that not only the Yidden got in the Luchos, the whole world got in the Luchos. The truth is that if you look at the rules that we have, besides Shabbos and maybe another one or two, most of them, the whole world supposedly keeps them. They don't, but supposed to keep them, and all the other religions also believe in them. Neichi, every religion believes that there's one Hashem. I mean, if not all of them, not the pagan religion. I mean, the religion that we know. And yeah. And Anoichi Hashem Elokecha, the Rebbeinu Shalom is one. We have a mitzvah every morning and every night to say Shema Yisrael. That's when we accept the oneness of Hashem. In other words, when a boy or girl, you go to shul, a school, cheder, school, you go and you say Shema Yisrael, that's when you are mekayim the mitzvah of the first of the Aseret HaDibros. What does it mean that Hashem is one? It means that you accept upon yourself the fact that the Rebbeinu Shalom is one, and there is no other God in the world. Hashem doesn't need help. Hashem doesn't use help. Hashem has billions upon billions upon billions of mishamshim, of helpers, but he doesn't need it. He uses it in order to use a natural system in the world. That's another shmooze for another time. But the Rebbeinu Shalom doesn't need any help. He is behind every power. Even though we see powers like the sun and the moon and the stars and machinery and rain and things, thunder and the lightning and tremendous powers and growth and produce, things that happen in the world. And all these things, so to speak, are natural. Yet, we know that there's one Hashem, one power that is behind all this. And that's Anoichi Hashem Elokecha. Lo yeh lecha yinala rudu avodah zarah. I want to tell you a tremendous story that a lot of people I'm sure know, but I want me to say it because the story is in the Gemara and it brings the schus for Klal Yisrael. Now the mother, and the Medrash doesn't say a name. In the Gemara it said that her name was Chana. Chana, who had 7 sons, and it was a time after the Beis HaMikdash where the Romans were all pagans. They believed in all kind of interesting gods. They believed in the sun god and the moon god and the power and the love god and the cold, and everything had their own god or whatever. Crazy, crazy ideas. They so don't begin to make sense, but either way, this is what they believed.
And the Getch Cabal.
And they would torment the Klal Yisrael, torment the tzaddikim, time and again. And they forced the Yidden to bow down to their gods. And this Roman emperor, and it doesn't say a name, maybe it does, and I missed it, wore a big tselem, a big one of his gods on a necklace on his head, on his on his chest, and he wanted, and he wanted the Jews to bow down to him. So they brought this family, a mother and 7 sons. Interesting, it doesn't mention a father. Maybe there was no father. Maybe the father died. I don't know. Anyway, the mother and 7 sons came, and he tried to force them to bow down. So he said to the oldest one, "You, bow down." Okay? He said, "No, I'm not going to bow down." You know why? Because it says in the pasuk, Ani Hashem Elokeichem. I am Hashem your God, and there is no other God. So I'm not going to bow down. The emperor got so angry, he told the soldiers to kill him. They brought the second son. They said to him, bow down. He said, no, I won't bow down. It says in the Torah, Lo yeh lecha Elohim acherim al panai. You should not have other getchkes, other gods besides me. Yeah, so that's how they was. Kill him. So they killed the second son. Brought the third son. It went in order of age. The third son, the younger one. He said, bow down. He said, no. It said in the Torah, do not bow down to them. I won't bow down to them. So they killed him. Then they brought the fourth son. They bow down. He said, no. It said in the Torah, but you should not bow down to any other god. So they killed him. Put son number 5. He said, bow down. He said, no. It said in the Torah, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Listen, Yidden. Listen, O Jews. Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem. That we know it. Yudke Vavke. Hashem Elokeinu. That's our God, and that's it. Hashem Echad. There's only one. I'm not bowing down to you. Kidding me? So they killed him. They brought the younger one. I guess he was, I don't know, very, very young. 7 children. He said, no, I won't bow down to you. That was number 6. He said in the Torah, I will not bow down to you. Hashem is the only one. They brought the 7th one. He was very, very young. He said, let me talk to my mother. And I never understood what he wanted to talk to his mother. You can see from the answer that they had that they were very, very smart kids. And I'm sure he had total Mesiras Nefesh, and he had no havamina to bow down to this gachke, to the Avodah Zarah. So why did he say, I want to talk to my mother? And I thought maybe he was going to his mother and say to his mother, look, you lost 6 sons. You sure you want me to do it? Something like that. Because it doesn't, mamish, I don't understand. I said so the mother said, you know, when the first 6 children, they were Moisa Nefesh, they are in a tremendous place in Shemayim. A place where tzaddikim are. Imagine you bow down. They will all be in one place and you will be in a total different place. Even though you're forced, you still won't be in that mechitza, but you will be in a different mechitza. You want to be outside your brother's mechitza, outside that place? So he was happy. He went to the emperor and he said, absolutely not. I will not bow down. And he said, I'll tell you the pasuk. He said, as Hashem hemarta hayoim, Hashem hemircha hayoim. Hashem chose you. I'm sorry, we chose Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu says, we chose Hashem, hayoim, to be our God. And we will not switch him, chas v'shalom, with another one. And you, Hashem, you chose us as a God, as the Klal Yisrael, your Yidden. And you won't switch us. I will not bow down to you. The emperor was very embarrassed. 7 children kind of defeated him. 7 children had such Mesiras Nefesh, tremendous. He said to him, in order not to embarrass me, I will drop my ring on the floor. Just pick it up so it should look like at least that you bow down to me. So he said, no, I won't pick it up. You can kill me. They took him out and they killed him. So she went up and the mother said, I will not stay outside of that mechitza. I don't want chas v'shalom, they should do something to me. She went onto the roof jumped off and was killed. Before that, she said to the emperor, please let me embrace my child, let me kiss him. And then she jumped off the roof. A bas coil came out from Shemayim. That means a voice came out from Shemayim and said, Aim habanim samecha. The mother and the sons are happy. In other words, there was tremendous Kiddush Hashem. The Yidden, all their life, since then and for generations later, the Yidden, throughout all the generations, they were Moser Nefesh for the oneness of Hashem. Be it the Crusades, be it the Spanish Inquisition, be it the Chaban Abayis. Unbelievable. So many thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of Jews were killed for this, for the oneness of Hashem. And for that we have a tremendous chus. We have a tremendous chus. Another one of the Aseres HaDibros is Shabbos. Shabbos, beautiful Shabbos tomorrow night. Beautiful, beautiful Shabbos, the day of rest for Klal Yisrael. The Baruch Shem tells us, rest. Don't do work, don't do the Lamites Malachos. Either way, there's one day that you need to rest. Because Hashem rested on that day, Kivyachal, so to speak. So you need to rest on that day to be Mekadosh that day. They tell you two stories that the Gemara says. One of them is more commonly known, more famous than the other one. One of them is called Chanina ben Torta, and one of them is called Yosef Meker Shabbos. Now, Chanina ben Torta is a very interesting story that the Gemara tells us, and also the Medrash tells us, that there was once a man, a tzaddik, and he had a cow, a bull, and he worked in the field every day. He would work in the field Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I guess half a day. The bull would work in the field. And Shabbos, the bull would be in the barn and eat hay and rest, just like the Baruch Shem said. Ata, Ovitro, Avtro, Vamasro, V'yamtro, V'yamtro, V'geresh, V'yamtro. We say it every Shabbos morning by Kiddush. Baruch Shem told us that even our animals need to rest. So Shabbos, the animal knew, I'm resting, I'm not working today. So in her brain, she had it like computerized. She had it set that on the seventh day, every seventh day, have a day off. One day, this man, tzaddik, wasn't able to pay his bills. He needed to sell his bull. He sold his bull and to a guy, and the guy uses the bull. Comes Sunday, he uses the bull Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Comes Shabbos, the guy doesn't have Shabbos. He wanted to use the bull, but the bull wasn't moving. The bull was programmed not to work on Shabbos. So he's not moving. It was a very big chiddush. What happened? So he came back to the Yid and he said, look, I bought a bull that works 7 days a week. Well, guess what? He's not moving. He said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So he went and he set something into the bull's ear. As soon as he said it, the bull got up and he started working. So the guy got very angry. He said, what did you say, some kind of witchcraft? What did you say into the ear of this bull? He said, I didn't say anything major. I said to the bull this: when you were mine, I kept Shabbos. So you didn't work on Shabbos, but now, I needed to sell this bull. I need to sell you to the guy. He doesn't have a mitzvah of Kabbalah Shabbos, of accepting Shabbos. He doesn't need to. So you know what? You need to work. So he said, this man said, what? This bull who has zero seichel understands how important it is a day of rest and how chashav Shabbos is, and me not. He went and he was Megaya himself. Not only was Megaya himself, he became a huge Talmid Chacham and a tzaddik, and they called him in the halls of Torah, in the yeshiva, they called him Chanina ben Turta, Chanina, the son of the ox. Yep. Imagine that. Guy turned Jew because of this story. That's one story I wanted to tell you about Shabbos, even though there are hundreds and hundreds of stories about Shabbos. Serious Nefesh of Shabbos after World War II, when the people came to Ellis Island, to Lower Manhattan, and they didn't have jobs. Hundreds of people, they went in Monday to the job, and their boss told them, if you don't come in Shabbos, don't bother to come in on Monday. And they lost their job every Monday. They started a new job, and they would take those pink slips. That's a little piece of paper that you get from your boss when you're fired. Should never happen to you. They took their pink slips and hung it on the wall like decorations in their sukkah, like night sukkah. They were so happy. Look what I did for Shabbos. Yeah, find out from your grandparents. This is what they did. That's the beauty of Shabbos. And there was this man, Yosef Moika Shabbos, who was very, very poor. And when we say poor, it is not what we say poor nowadays, that people, nowadays, poor, okay, I can't buy the expensive bike that I wanted, or I can't buy the latest wheelies, or the latest gadgets, or the best phone. Can't do that. That's called poor? No. In those days, poor meant no bread on the table, and he was very poor. He made a little bit of money every day. He took half the money, the few pennies that he made, and gave it to his wife so she can buy food for the family and whatever they needed, wood to heat up the house, etc. And then the other half went for Shabbos. Whatever he made, half of it went for Shabbos. When it came Shabbos, he bought everything that he needed for Shabbos, and he prepared a beautiful Shabbos, even though he had mamish no money. Ben Shloim watched what Yosef was doing, and planned. He planned a tremendous gift for Yosef. There was a neighbor of Yosef Meika Shabbos that he was so jealous of this Jew that he had such a good Shabbos, he would hate him. And one day he had a dream that something bad is going to happen to him. So he went and he spoke to the astrologers or whatever, what have you. They had these people who stargazers, whatever you call them. And he told him, let's call him Johnny. He told him, Johnny, you see that man who lives in the shack there, Yosef, he's going to get all your money one day. He said, what? Never going to happen. He went and he sold his house. He's very, very rich. He sold his house or his mansion, whatever he had, and his field, everything he had, his animals, whatever he had, sold. With this, he bought a huge, huge diamond. He went and he sewed it into his hat. He said, you know what? Now, no one can have it. It's with me the whole time. No one had a clue where it is. He had nothing. Now I'm going to go. He started walking away, wanted to go to a different town, away from Yosef, so he should never get his money. But on the way, he needed to cross a bridge. Crossed the bridge, and a wind came off, and his hat went flying into the water. No, hat went flying into the water. Somehow, from the water, the diamond got released from the hat. A fish passed by and swallowed the diamond. Obviously, the Baruch Shalom orchestrated it that way. He was caught, the fish was caught, I don't know how many miles away, or maybe not so far away, whatever, was caught by the fish chappers, by the fishers, and they brought it to town. It was a big, nice, fat fish, and they were looking for someone to buy the fish. but they came a little bit late Friday afternoon, and they said, "Who wants to buy this fish for Shabbos?" And everybody had fish ready. So they said, "You know what? There's a man who lives over there in the shack. He'll do anything for Shabbos. Big, nice, fat fish. You have the right address." He knocked on the door, and Yosef opened the door and he said, "How can I help you?" He said, "Look, we caught this big fish. No one wants to buy it. Maybe you want to buy it. You love Shabbos." He said, "Of course I want to buy it. Give it to me." And he put the fish on the table and he paid for it with mamish, the last penny that he had, paid for the fish. Of course, they went and opened the fish to take out the parts that don't get eaten, and they find massive diamond. The Boy Shalom paid them back for all the beautiful Shabbosim that he had when he had no money. He went and he sold it, the Gemara says, for 13,000 dinarim. Whatever that is, sounds like a lot of money. I have absolutely no idea how much money that is. I'm sure if you ask Rabbi Deutsch from the Living Torah Museum, he will tell you in an instant how much money that is in our days. But it was a tremendous amount of money, haraya, that guy, Johnny, sold all his possessions and all his fields and stuff for this diamond. This is the beauty of Shabbos. The halacha already tells us that there are 3 levels of Shabbos. Someone who doesn't have the money, someone who has a lot of money, whatever. I don't want to go into it, but either way, it's a mitzvah to eat special things that cover Shabbos. Go home, tell your mother that, you know what, Mommy, I heard from Rabbi Bornstein that it's a mitzvah to have Shabbos party on Shabbos. And it's true. It's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah on you to enjoy it, and it's a mitzvah on your parents to give it to you. It's also a mitzvah to listen to them, so don't have a tantrum. Thank you. Okay. Moving on a little bit further in the Aseres HaDibros, we have this unbelievable mitzvah, which is a very, very difficult mitzvah to keep. It is kabed es avicha v'esimecha. One should honor his father and his mother, and the Gemara already says what it means, feed him and clothe him, whatever. I don't want to go into it, but point is, kabed es avicha v'esimecha, Torah says, if you honor your father and your mother, you will live long. And already, of course, the Gemara tells us already the famous story that this Tana who went OTD, went off the derech, as you call it nowadays. He became apikoros, and the reason he did so because he saw a little boy climbing onto a tree to do shliach haken, because his father had told him to do that. And on both of these mitzvahs, kabed es avicha v'esimecha, and on shliach haken, it said that you will live a long life. And he fell down and broke his neck and was killed on the spot. And he said, "What? What does that mean?" And the Gemara says, of course, good question. And the Gemara answers right away that we don't know what it means to have a long life. It means in the world to come. But of course, ein mikra yotzim de pshutoi. Of course, in this world also, it's a skula for ruchas yamim if you to listen, honor your father and your mother. Very hard mitzvah, I know. But it's a mitzvah in the Torah, one of the Aseres HaDibros. If you go to shul Sunday morning, you will hear it. Kabed v'esimecha. Of course, the Gemara tells us the famous story of Dama ben Esina, who was a guy who had the tremendous kibbud avayim, and the Gemara says, on one of the Tanaim, you didn't get to the level of Dama ben Esina. What happened? That some business people came, doesn't say were Yidden or not. They came to Dama ben Esina with a business offer, but for that offer they needed the keys to whatever box they had, maybe for the money box or for the jewels, whatever. But the father, as Gemara says, was sleeping at that time, and his feet were on the box or on the keys, I think on the box. So he wasn't going to wake up his father, even though he lost huge sum of money. That's what it said in the Medrash. And another place it said that it was actually the Chachamim who came because they lost the diamond from the Choshen from Binyamin. They came to buy a diamond. and they wanted to give him more and more and more money. But he said, no, it's not about the money. My father's sleeping, ain't happening, which was a tremendous Mesiras Nefesh that we should learn. If a guy acts that way, of course, we got the Torah from Rebbeinu Shalom and Har Sinai, us Yidden, of course, we have to act in that kind of that way. So in other words, Shabbos afternoon, when your parents are taking a nap, of course, you can play quietly. We'll do exactly what David ben Sina did, that he didn't wake up his parents, even though he was losing out something, like when you want to play, let's say, hide and go seek, which is a little bit of a noisy game where you can play with blocks or anything that makes noise, jump outside. On a pogo stick, all these things make noise, and you can wake up your parents. And instead, you play a quiet game. That's a mitzvah, and then you do a mitzvah kibbutz avayim like David ben Sina did. Anyway, the Gemara tells us that in the end, he was zeicher to have a parah aduma in his barn. He had a little red cow, and the Chachamim bought it for a huge sum of money, but he didn't want to take money for that thing. Yeah. Amazing. And that guy's name was David ben Sina. And I'll tell you another story where the Gemara tells us there was a father who was 70 years old. No, not a father. It was a person who was 70 years old. 70. And he didn't have any children. And he would go every time, he'd always go to the kids and send them cheder. And he would love them and kiss them and give them good stuff for every time that they told him what they learned in cheder. And he so badly wanted a kid. He would daven to Hashem, give me a kid. 70 years old, and the Boy Shalom helped him, and they had a baby. 70 years old, can you imagine? And they had a baby, and he would when he was 5 years old, he took him to a Rebbe, and he told the Rebbe, what should he learn? And the Rebbe said, he should bring me a Chumash Vayikra, he should start learning Vayikra. But the father said, no, I want him to learn Bereshis. And so he started teaching him Bereshis, and they learned till all the days of the week. He was a very, very young child. And one day he was walking in the street on the way to Cheder, and the king passed by, and he saw this little boy, and he said, I always wanted a little boy. Looks like a very smart kid. And he went and he kidnapped the boy. They brought this boy to the palace, and the king would love talking to him. He was very sad. He didn't have his father. He couldn't do anything about it. Was a king. And the father at that time goes to his cheder and asks the Rebbe, where's my son? He said, your son, he never showed up to his cheder this morning. He started crying. Him and his wife started crying and making koiles all over the place. Bonshlam saw and had rachmanis. He brought the king a sickness. And they couldn't find a cure for the sickness. Finally, they found some book, and they thought it's a book of medicine. So they started looking at it. They couldn't read it. So one of the people said, I think that book is Hebrew. So the kid said, oh, I know someone who might know Hebrew. And they called that little boy and said to him, could you read it? He said, yes. So he said, read it. What did it say? He started crying. He said, this is the book that my father gave me, and I want, and this is the Chumash. He said, do you understand what it says? He said, yes. He started reading Bereshis, Bara Elikim Hashemayim V'Soretz. In the beginning, when the Rebbeinu created heaven and the earth, words, and so on and so forth. He went through the days, and as he was saying those words, the king was cured, slowly but surely was cured. And he said he got so excited that he was cured and saw the holiness of this book. He said to him, what is this? So this is the book of the Torah. The Rebbeinu gave us the Torah. This is it. He said to him, you can ask me for anything you want. He said, I don't want anything. I just want to go back to my father. take me back to my father, because he's 70 years old. He prayed his whole life for children. He didn't have children. So the king had no choice. He took him into his oitze, into his vault, if you will, into his place where he keeps all his gold, silver, and jewels. He gave him a box with everything in it, all that he want, all that the kid, everything that the kid, he put in gold and silver into the box and gave it to the kid. And he said to him, "Go home." He came home, and it was a tremendous Kiddush Hashem, and said that this wasn't the schus of his father, the schus of Kibbud Avim, that he said that he doesn't want anything, just to go back to his father. Yep. Then this is the Kibbud Avim. Goes weiter, it's getting very late. It goes weiter, the Aseret Adibur, it says Lisinaf. Sinaf means that you're not allowed to get married to people who you're not allowed to get married to. And the Gemara, of course, in Sanhedrin, gives us all the people you're not allowed to marry, and Yivamis and Chetra, tells you about the punishment and everything. The Gemara tells us a tremendous, beautiful story. And this story is for a little bit for the older boys. Let's say the boys who are 12, 13, 14. So the Gemara said that this big tzaddik, we have Masya Bacharash, tremendous tzaddik, one of the greatest of the great. He had such heilige eyes, he would never look at a woman who was married, only at his own wife. And talking about that, it's never not a good time to remind you boys who are getting a little bit older, 12, 13, 14-year-old, how important it is to watch your eyes, not to look at things that you're not allowed to look. And he was tremendously unbelievable. And the Satan came to the Bein Shleim and said to the Bein Shleim, Mafti Becharash, he didn't really have too much of nisyonis. I want to give him a nisyon. Do you give me permission? Bein Shleim said, you will not be able to make him look at something bad. He said, can I try, please, Hashem? So Hashem said, you try. Go down. He went down and he dressed up like a very, very pretty woman, and he stood right in front of Masya Bacharash. Masya noted that someone is standing there. He right away moved his eyes away. And when he moved his eyes, the Malach, the Satan, came and stood on the other side. And he went here and back and forth. Finally, he sat down right in front of Masya Bacharash, the Satan, dressed up as this very pretty lady. And Ramasya said to himself, I'm so scared of being over the aver, of looking at her. He said to his Talmidim, bring me a hot pin. He took a pin and put it into the fire till it was red hot, and then put it into his eyes, and he burnt his eyes. And he was blind. When the Satan saw this, he came crying to have Masya to ask him Mechila. He went up to Shemaim and said to Hashem, please, the Bein Shleim, look what he did. Please give him back his eyes. You have to heal him. So the Bein Shleim sent Malach Raphael to cure his eyes. So he said, no, I don't want to be cured. If I can come to such an Isoyan, I do not want to be cured. So the Bein Shleim, so the Malach came back and said to the Bein Shleim what had happened. So he said, tell him that I promise him we will never have another Nisayan. From then on, he never had another Nisayan. He got big his eyes. So you can see the importance of keeping your eyes heilig. Aseret HaDibur continues with L'Signov. Now, L'Signov in the Torah, in the Aseret HaDibur, really talks about kidnapping, but I want to move a little bit on to just, L'Signov, stealing. And I've spoken to a lot of kids, and people don't understand that taking things at home is also sometimes a signal. Kids don't understand that. You need permission, especially when mommy says you're not allowed to take it without permission. Things at home don't actually belong to you, even though they're in your house. it's like a new thing that everything is open at home and take whatever you want. It's really not okay. And it's a big question of Litignev, especially when you get a little bit older and you understand that you should be careful. You need permission to take things at home, especially money or new toys or stuff like that. You cannot take things without permission. I saw a very, very nice story in the Medrash about Shlomo Melech. There were three people who were very, very good friends, and they set out to make some business, and each took like, let's say, I don't know, we'll say like $1,000 or whatever. And they went and they did business, and they came back, and each had like $10,000. So they had $30,000. They said, you know what? Let's hide it here under the tree, and when we go, when we'll be ready to leave back to our house, back home, we'll take the money. So they went and they hid it. Everybody put their $10,000. Middle of the night, one of the people came. They were brothers or friends, whatever. Came and he stole the $30,000. And of course, the number of money and the type of money is made up because they didn't have dollars in those days. Either way, the next day they dig up the hole and everybody said, huh? The money's gone, and everybody makes believe they don't know. And of course, this kind of knew the story. So they had no choice. They went to the king, and the king was Shlomo HaMelech, no less. Shlomo HaMelech was the smartest of smart. Torah said there was no one smarter than him. That's what the Nach says. Chacham mikol adam. He said, let me tell you a story. There were two kids, a boy and a girl, who were very good friends when they were very young. They promised each other that they're going to get married one day. So, but he went on his merry way and she went on her merry way. And finally, she becomes a kala to this man, to someone else. But before the chasna, she remembered the promise. So she went to her old friend. He said to him, look, I'm now engaged to this other man. Here's a lot of money, you can have it. Just release me from our promise. He said, I don't want your money. It's okay, don't worry. We were kids then. We didn't really mean to actually do it, to actually get married. We're just kids, playing, whatever. Of course, they let him go. On the way, she had a lot of money. She had to travel through like a forest. She was kidnapped by a bunch of ganavim, and among them there was one old man, and the old man said, you're going to marry me. I want you to marry me. So she said, I'll tell you where I'm coming from. And she told him the whole story. She said, this man who I promised that I'm going to get married to me, he's much younger. And he didn't want to marry me. He was mevat and didn't marry me. And you're going to do that to me? So he thought about it. He said, you know what? Give me your money and you can go. So he stole all her money and he let her go. Then he thought to himself, wasn't nice. She was such a special person, and this chassan was such a special person, this man who was her friend when they were young. They just let each other go, and they were so nice to each other, and me, I'm so mean. He went and he looked for this girl, and he gave back the money. Shlomo Melech told them the story, and he said to the brothers, listen to me. Who do you think is the biggest tzaddik of all three? So person number one said, I think the kala is the most. She was smart. She had good intentions. She was able to marry without caring about her young friend. Yet she went and asked him permission, even though the answer might have been no, I'm not mevata. Yet she went to ask him. She is a very righteous person. The other one said, no, I think the chassan is the most righteous person. Because you know what? He let her go. He was mevat, he was so nice, he just let her go. The third one said, I think the Ganav is the nicest person. Look how nice he was. Just let it go. He came back in the end and he gave back the money. Look how nice. Shlomo Melech turned to the man and said, "You are the Ganav." Right away, you had your eye on the money. You are the Ganav. And he forced him, and he was murder. And you see from this the tremendous chachma of Shlomo Melech. You also see from this the how important it is to pay back a geneva and to be honest. That's like signal. There are more the Seiretzach, even though kids don't kill, but you can kill with words by bullying or talking Lashon Hara. And that's the Seiretzach and so on and so on. L'tzachmoid, don't be jealous. Either way, that's the Aseret HaDibros. We're finishing now, boys and girls, this show tonight. It's a few minutes before 7, and you know our minhag is to finish always with a beautiful song of Ka'echzeh from my Heilige Zayde, Reb Shlomo Karliner. Sorry, Reb Aaron Karliner, Ka'echzeh. And we're going to play it now, but before that I want to just remind you, don't forget to go to shul Sunday morning to listen to Aseret HaDibros, the beautiful Aseret HaDibros that the Rebbeinu Shem gave us, the what's called the Torah on Sinai. Don't forget. Anyway, good Shabbos. This is Yosef Lai Bornstein. Next week I will be in Eretz Yisrael, HaKodesh. I'm going to try to speak live from there. I don't know if it's going to work out. Last time I was in Eretz Yisrael, I was able to make a show at the Kaisel Maravi, and I took names and we put it into the Kaisel in the middle of the night. It was 2 o'clock in the morning at that time, and we set up a whole thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this year. We'll see. Thursday, the yard site of my shver, the first yard site, so my father-in-law, so that's, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I honestly have no idea. I'm going to try. And the following week, Thursday, I also will still be in Etzrol. We're going for 10 days from Thursday till Sunday. But, Emetz Hashem, I will have you in mind, boys and girls. Kinderlich, have a great, great Shabbos and a great Yantiv. Don't forget, go to shul Sunday morning to listen to Aseret HaDibros. Have a great Shabbos. And this is Yosef Lai Bornstein. Official Schechter follows me, then Leil Shish with Yoli. Don't go away.